Bam, just like that, back with another Portable Clint. Guys, I'm gonna interview somebody who I don't really know that well, but she is my wife's favorite person in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, Shanola Hampton.
Woo!
Wow, look at you, look at you.
Clint.
Yes,
I
yes,
love
yes.
it.
Did I say your name completely right?
You did. If people say Shanola, I always tell them it's like granola with an SH.
See, why didn't you tell me that to begin with? I was all nervous.
Granola with an SH.
Okay.
It's done.
Shanola,
Yes.
Here we go. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Hello, everybody.
Look at you. The camera loves
Thank you. I love this location.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Talk to me about when you first thought about moving to Hollywood, California.
Okay. Well, strangely enough, I always wanted to be an actor ever since I was 4 years old. When I was 4 years old, I knew that that's what I was going to do.
How did you know? Did you see something? Did you read something? What was it?
I went on stage for a talent show, and I was lip singing to a Diana Ross song, and I got the applause of the crowd,
That's powerful, right?
I was like, this is where I want to be. And for me, I thought that meant going to New York, to be honest. I thought I only wanted to do stage. I'm a stage actor.
Right.
And so I went, and education is very important in my family. My dad's a bishop in South Carolina.
Awesome.
And he's all about education. So I went and got my master's. I went and got my bachelor's and then my master's. And then I thought I was going to go to New York. But I said, if I'm going to do this as a business, I need to know this other genre, which is TV. So I came to LA just to do an internship at a casting office. While I was here in the summertime doing that internship, I got my first job on TV.
How? Is this popular?
It's popular. Yes. So the casting office, Ort Shawson and Kritzer, whom I still give credit for my successes.
They're great.
I just was who I am when I go and work for people.
Right.
And I was singing and dancing, and they liked me. And he said, do you want to audition? I said, yes. And they half-heartedly me and gave me my first break.
Awesome. Okay, that was in 2001.
How do you know the year?
I know everything.
Did you just age me? Hold on.
Wait, did I? I didn't age you, did I?
You aged me.
But no, that's nothing.
Okay.
But that's nothing that anybody else can do the math on, because all I do is go to IMDb. So that's the only.
And I don't care anyway,
Shakespeare.
because
There
I
you
look
go.
like this.
No, seriously, you're beautiful.
kidding.
Look at you.
No,
Look at you. Okay.
Thanks.
All right. So now I'm all confused. So when did you come out here? I know we can't say the date because I don't want people do the math.
So what happened was the last year before I was finishing graduate school, I came the summer before that. So 2000 is when I got here.
Okay.
And then I petitioned because I got my job while I was here in the summer. I petitioned, instead of me going back and doing the final showcase for the MFA program,
Right.
I already have agents and managers. So why don't you just let me stay out here and do it as an internship and see what happens. So I've been here since 2000.
Tell me what you did to get your career going at the very beginning. I don't normally ask that question, but for some reason I want to ask you that question.
Yeah.
What were your tools in your toolbox?
It was interesting because a lot of the things that happened for me were because I got to see the other side of it, the casting part of it, and get to make those relationships. That's really one of the major tools that I had was, people say it all the time, but the connections. And so just from seeing how the other side worked, I was the reader for the casting directors doing auditions, which
awesome.
is the best thing to do as an actor.
I bet.
Is to sit there, you hear how producers talk. Because as actors, we think we're preparing and it's all about us. It's not at all. There's so many other factors. You can go in and you could have spent the entire night doing so much work on a part, and you go in and you nail it, and then you still don't get it, and you're like, but why? And it's some whole other thing happening that you didn't know before you even got in the room. It really started to take the pressure off of me as an actor when I realized, oh wait, so I'm just a really itty bitty piece of this whole little puzzle.
That helps. That helps. Yeah, no, that's a great point.
I mean, it's good. You must prepare. You must be organized. You want to do all that stuff because you want to represent yourself in a great way. But really, at the end of the day, it's you want it, you want it. You don't,
Yeah. Okay, you book Popular.
I book Popular.
You get your SAG card.
So excited.
What do you do? How are you going to take on Hollywood from here?
Well, at that time, I thought I was going to have to go back to graduate school. But I was like, so when I got Popular, my family was all excited to watch me on TV.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I made it on the editing floor.
Oh.
But I got to have heartbeat, so I have my
that's
sack.
little steps that add up.
Exactly. So I came back here and worked with two Nancy Nair casting office and Ori Strauss and Kritzer. I came back again and just did intern work, and it's really a hustle. It really is. And I waited for them to give me another chance, which Eric Dawson, my sweet man, promised me that because I ended up on the editing floor that I would be on Popular again, and then that's the one that everybody sees. Nobody knows that it was 2 times.
Oh, okay. That's in 2001. I want to know about your career from 2001 to 2007.
Okay, let me think about. So this is hard for me to think about years. I do remember there was a little bit of a break. I booked Related, I think, somewhere around.
By the
there.
way, I also have Related on my resume.
You
I did.
do?
Yes, I did Related.
And I got one of my best friends from that show. We were enemies on the show, but we're best friends in real life.
Awesome.
So to this day. So what year was that?
I think there was only one season, right?
It was only one season.
Yeah, I don't know. Whenever.
It was sometime between that 2001, 2007
Yes,
gap, right?
yes.
So during that time, I would get little co-stars and guest star roles like the 5 and Unders. I was still hustling, still working restaurant jobs and one of the main things that because I had my master's and I taught undergrad, I was an acting teacher here at a place called Acting Site. And at the time, which I guess there's some controversy now, it was a place where actors can go and be seen in front of casting directors, which you don't get that opportunity if you don't have an agent.
Right.
So I have a different, because it worked for me.
Yep.
And I made great relationships with great people that actually hired me. And when it turned into something not good, I was like, it ended up having a lot of controversy behind it. I was like, oh my goodness, there were so many people that this program helped by being able to go workshops and then have casting directors see what you had workshop and then bring you in for a guest star, co-star. Because if you don't have an agent, you can't just walk in.
No, you're absolutely right.
So I did that. Worked at a place called Actor Site. I taught young actors. That was super fun. So I was doing that between 2001, 2007, all the guest spots. When I got Related, I thought I had made it because it was a recurring role.
Well, that's always one of my questions. How many false starts have you had in this business?
Quite a few.
Okay.
Oh, I missed something. Also during that time, I did this pilot with Sid and Marty Krofft. Remember Electra Woman and Dinah Girl?
I don't know that one, but I know Sid and Marty.
Yeah, Sid and Marty had what is it? The comic Electra Woman and Dinah Girl. So they ended up doing a pilot. At the time, I don't know much that's going on with the business, but it was such buzz. Everybody was excited about it. It was the time when Superman was coming. It was the time when all of the superhero shows were being made.
Yes, okay.
So the buzz was that this pilot was going to get picked up. So I arrived. I just got here. I got a pilot. They bring a car for me to go to Canada to shoot this pilot. I'm thinking I am like big stuff. Yeah. And then the pilot doesn't get picked up. What? So that's false start number 1.
Yes.
Well, I guess false start number 1 would be when I ended up on the editing floor, right?
Right.
False start number 2 would be Electra Woman and Dinah Girl. Related was a recurring. I thought I could quit my job. Dumb idea. And I'll tell you, that'll circle back to when I did meet successes because I kept my job well into it. And then, so that's false start number 2, right? And then another, but then after Related, I made sure that I would never make decisions that were permanent again, like quitting your job. Don't do that.
Okay, that's very smart.
Keep your job.
Okay. I'm getting to 2001 to 2007 because 2008, 2009, you don't have a single IMDb credit.
Right.
Are you aware of that?
I think everybody's aware of that because that was during the time of strike seasons.
Okay. I always like it. I love studying IMDb pages.
Right.
Because, especially right before they make it. Because right before they make it, they always have a downtime. And that's when people either do something about their career, that's either they give up or they go for it even harder.
Right.
Because you come back in 2010 and that starts
you
never not being on IMDb every year since then.
Well, that's a blessing.
So let's talk about the 2 years. So it was on strike.
There was a strike somewhere during that period, somewhere after Related. That was a downtime. Commercials were doing okay. I never really was a big commercial person. I'd get a few here and there. It was really hard because you're stuck crying in your car and crying in your closet and
Sure.
asking God, if this is not for me, just like take the passion out of me so I don't feel it.
Right.
So I know that it's something else. Because if I feel it, it must mean you want me to do something with it. Because
Amen.
that's
Yes.
got to be the reason
Yes.
why I feel it so strongly. It's what I really believed in. So then he would give me little signs here and there about with the commercials. I'd book a commercial. I'd be like, okay, God.
Yeah.
We're good, God.
Yeah.
This is what you want me to do.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
it's good. But I just got to fight. You got to persevere. I always say, I talk at, my sisters are principals, so I go to their schools and talk. It's all about the bounce back. And when you get, boom, knocked out, you got to jump up and bounce right back.
Yes.
And that bounce back doesn't come without being knocked down and crying or mad or angry or questioning. It's about not staying there and going back and be like, let's do it again, because
Right.
God has put this passion inside of me for a reason. I must be meant to do something, so I got to go in and go find it. I got to go do it. I live it. And talking to yourself and really coaching yourself,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So I did that, and I guess and then there was no work for a long time. And then I was just serving and being a bartender and an acting teacher.
Did you think your career was done?
I got to be honest with you. I never thought that. I never thought that it was over for me because of the prayer that I prayed, which is if you put this inside me, there has to be a reason why you put it inside me. So I never had a moment where I gave up. And honestly, at the time, who was still my manager never gave up on me. She's been my manager. I met her that summer that I came out here, 2000, to present day. And she was one of the main people who said to me, it's going to be fine.
See?
There's going to be a day where we're doing deals. We're going to be doing, and then she was right. Excuse me. I'm getting over a cold, everyone, but I'm good.
But you
now.
look good getting over a cold.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. I loved everything you just said. That's just, it takes one person to believe in you to keep you going too.
Yeah,
sometimes.
it's true.
So the strike is over with. You get through it. It's 2010. You start getting back on the breakdown. I mean, you start getting back going
With
out.
another recurring, I don't know. I really need, you know what I needed? A breakdown of my IMD page so I could have gone.
I know. Okay.
But I get Miami Medical.
Yes.
I think during that time,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
That was a taped audition. Didn't care because at that point I had realized, for real, it doesn't matter. They're either going to like me or they don't. There's so many other factors. I went in, and that's the key. When you don't care, that's when you book.
I know, right? I mean, that is for sure 100%. But you have to learn how to not care. But
you can't fake not care either.
No, you
gotta
can't.
Really
Not
not
care.
Really not care in the sense that you're not prepared, but not care in the sense like, I'm going in. This is what I'm going to deliver. This is my stamp. You like it, you don't. I'm out.
absolutely.
So I did Miami Medical. I got a recurring. It was written to be like 1 or 2 episodes, and then once I got on set, it started being more and more and more.
Could you tell that they were liking you?
Yeah.
How did you tell? I mean, we all kind of know little things, but what are some of the signs when you find out that they're liking you?
I don't know. It's conversations that directors have with you. It's you're doing great. Oh goodness, I think that I just saw, or the other actors will tell you, I think I just saw you in the other episode, or they're really talking to you, or whatever.
Awesome.
You know, sometimes
Yeah,
you get it from
yeah,
them.
yeah,
So it depends on
yeah.
who you're working with.
Yeah.
I try to do that, and now with other guest stars, because you get the scripts early
Right,
when you're
right.
working, I'll be like, I think you're on another episode.
That's
and
awesome.
They like you.
That is awesome. Okay, you get an audition.
Yes.
I'm sure John Wells was on the news, on the paper, right?
Yes.
Okay, you get an audition for a show called Shameless.
I do.
Tell me how you got the audition. Who called you? How'd you find out about this?
Okay.
I like little details.
I love giving little details. So the Shameless story, I was on Miami Medical at the time,
Okay.
on the Warner Brothers lot. Now everybody watching is not going to know LA, but it's very spread out. So I was shooting on the Warner Brothers lot.
I love that lot, by the way.
I love that lot too. I love it a lot. And crazily enough, since you like details, I'll tell you this. This
Please.
little girl from Somerville, South Carolina, I used to, people can call it one, you take it, but vision boards. I used to visualize myself driving onto the lot, talking to the person at the gate, seeing the stages, just as a very clear and specific vision. I used to see way before, I mean, I should have had no business dreaming it, right?
Right.
But I did, and I used to see that, and so now, I remember when I was on Miami Medical, and sometimes you work with on different shows if you're a guest star, and you feel like the people that are regulars, they're like, wow, their appreciation for this is really, do they know what they have? I would die to be a regular on the show. Do they even know? And they have such an air or an attitude. And I remember doing that, and I said, you know, God, if you just gave me the opportunity to walk on this lot is my job. It was Warner Brothers lot specifically. I promise you, I will never take it for granted. And to this day, we've been shooting on that show, on that lot for almost 11 seasons, 10 years total. And I walk and I say, I remember walking here, seeing this space, everything being realized the way that I had visualized it, and I will not take it for granted.
That's
to
awesome.
this day, I have such an appreciation and a joy that comes over me when I drive on that lot every day. It could be 6 o'clock in the morning, midnight. I love it. So anyway, I digress. So I was shooting Miami Medical.
This is how detailed I want to get. What gate was this? Because I know all the gates. Which one?
The one off of Forest Lawn.
Okay, I know. Yes.
The one off of Forest Lawn.
Yeah,
That's
where
the
I usually have to park in the parking lot across and then walk across the street. You're driving on. Yeah,
I'm
I
driving
get it.
on.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that is awesome.
And so anyway, I'm shooting Miami Medical. My career wasn't great enough for me to even have an actual agent at that time. I mean, I was with like smaller agencies, but they weren't doing, you know, what we needed. So I was in the hip pocket of someone who was at a larger agent. I mean, for those, a hip pocket means an agent who's like, you're not signed with my company, but if I see stuff that's for you, I'm gonna put you right here and I'll, you know, try to help you along. And then eventually maybe you'll sign on at this big agency, okay? That agent said, okay, there's a script out that I think you're perfect for. But at this point in life, when you get that call or that conversation, it's like, yes, I know, another one I'm perfect for.
Yeah, because we've heard it so many times. Yep.
He was like, so you read it. I read Shameless, and I realized this was way before all the stream TV and all these risque shows. Okay, Shameless was well before its time. I've never seen anything like it. It's out of the box. It's fast. It's exciting. It's all of those things. I saw myself doing a specific scene on that, and I was like, this I could do. But I'm shooting. I'm on Miami Medical. You know this. If you're shooting, you can't leave where you're working, who's paying you to go do an audition.
You can't.
But for God's grace, the audition was on the same Warner Brothers lot, which meant setups can take a very long time.
Sure.
So as I was shooting Miami Medical, when they were setting up to turn the camera around, which would sometimes take 40 minutes, I would sneak over in a golf cart. A PA would take me, change my clothes out of the nurse's outfit, put on Veronica, and go to John Levy's office and do the audition. And I did that 6 times.
Really? It took you 6 times to get that part?
Yes, because John Wells is very big on auditioning, chemistry. He says that he's not just casting a character, he's casting people. So by the 5th, 6th time, whatever walls or whoever you're pretending to be, they start to fade, right?
It's good,
So, and then you do your chemistry and tests and all that kind of stuff. But everyone had a very long process to get Shameless. And then, because I didn't have time to think, Clint, I was shooting. I was working.
Right. That's always the best, because that's when you don't care, because you don't have time to care.
No, I don't have time to care.
Right.
All I have time to do is give you this is what it is, and I got to run back and go be the nurse. And I was like, hello, doctor, and doing all my medical jargon. I have these other lines in my head that I got to go shoot the scene for, right? And then I test, and I get Shameless.
Okay, hang on. I want to know where you were when you got the phone call that it became official.
Oh, that's great. So I'm leaving the test session, which was on Wilshire Boulevard at the Showtime building up there.
Wait, Wilshire and what? I don't know where this is. Is it in?
It's near UCLA, like Westwood area.
Okay.
Up top there. It may not even been Showtime, but it's that building that I can see it.
Yeah. Now I know what you're talking
over there. And I was testing against another girl who was taller. My husband on the show now, that cast, Steve Howie, is very tall. And the other guy he was testing against was shorter. Well, I noticed that they kept bringing Steve Howie, the tall guy, in. And I looked and I said, they're never going to cast me opposite him. I'm too short. They're going to go with this tall girl, young woman.
Don't you like how we cast ourselves out of so many parts?
Oh, yeah. No, it's amazing. Oh, the mental games that you can play?
Yeah.
Oh, you can make it all sorts of things.
Yeah.
So I go in the elevator and I say, get on the phone with my manager, Alyssa. When we need this long, and I say, nope, they're gonna go. I said, they're definitely casting this tall guy, Steve Howie. I said, they're definitely casting him, and they're gonna probably cast her opposite him because she looks like they should be together. She said, okay. So I'm driving along. She gets on the phone. She was like, are you still driving? I said, yes, I'm still driving.
Okay,
She's
well,
like,
hold on. When you see the phone number, because I'm all about looking at that phone number and like.
I'm thinking it's just her telling me you're right.
Okay.
I'm not thinking it's anything. I'm like,
okay.
Because you've gotten so many years of rejection, right?
Yes.
So then she calls and she says, and now at this point I'm coming over the canyon, Laurel Canyon.
Okay.
And she says, you got it. And I was like, where am I gonna pull over to sleep? So I go one of those little side roads, maybe Sunrise, something like that. I'm just, no, I didn't.
Awesome.
Oh my gosh, this is amazing. But at the time I was still bartending, and because I'd learned my lesson on that nice run from being
I heard
a
about
rigger,
this story, and I love this story right here. But
I
please.
stayed bartending all the way through shooting the pilot, all the way through the pickup. I didn't quit my job bartending, and they used to laugh on me on the set because I would like, okay, we shot, gotta go to work, gotta go bartend. And Steve Howey specifically was like, you know you're on a TV show. And I was like, this thing could go, and it could go without me. It could not go at all. There's too many things that can happen. I've been there before. No way. I'm going to keep my job.
Smart.
As soon as I get the first episode of the pickup, okay, they got me on camera. Y'all got me, right? They're not going to pay a lot of money and now fire me.
Right.
Now I can quit my job.
Awesome. Tell me how you quit your job.
Bye. No, I'm just kidding. No, I did 2 weeks because this job, BJ's Brewery, where I was a
Which
bartender
one?
in Santa Clarita, in Valencia.
Okay. I like BJ's Pizza for some
Me
reason.
too. The
I don't know why
Pizookie is the best ever.
Really?
Yeah.
I've
Oh,
never
that's
had
the pizza
that.
cookie? You didn't
Oh,
have the
no.
pizza? It's called Pizookie. Go
Okay,
order it
I'm
next
getting
time.
it. I'm getting it.
So they were so good to me, and they were so supportive of me being able to go do my auditions, because I would go open the bar, go to an audition, come back and work the shift, go back and do an audition. That was my hustle. I would change in the car, which I don't recommend because it's not safe, but I did it because I was on my hustle. And so I did my 2 weeks, and I said, I got a TV show, and I don't think that they realize. Now I have one manager there, Mark Clark, who is I just adore. He's like, who knew that it was going to be this?
Right.
Nobody can know that a show's going to last this long. It's crazy.
How many seasons?
We're going into our 11th and final season.
I know. I don't want to put you on the spot if you don't know him, but I know you know him. Mike McGill.
I love Mike very much.
Me too. He's been on my show. I love Mike.
Mike has also been with us since the very first episode.
Yes.
I wasn't in the bar at the time, so I didn't get to work with him the first few seasons, and now we work together almost every episode.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's great.
He is awesome. He really
love
is.
him.
Okay, hang on a second. I want to talk to you about something else that I think. When did you start volunteering? I'll be specific. You may have volunteered your whole life. When did you start volunteering for the Art of Elysium?
Oh.
Because that's where my wife works.
Yes.
And that's how she found out she loves you, because you are constantly helping out that charity.
Oh, I love that's
you
my
volunteer.
charity.
I want to know, because I've always told people out there, if you want to work, go volunteer.
Yeah.
Because my wife has always noticed people who volunteer work more as an actor.
Sure. It's true. It's crazy because I started volunteering. Jennifer Howell, who's the founder of the Art of Elysium, was one of my very best friends.
Awesome lady.
And I have been with the charity. We were trying to add it up well before my successes, well before then, just because we were friends, for about 17 years. So about 2003, I was at the very first Heaven, which is the big gala that they do, and it has been, or it still is, one of the joys of my life. Things that you learn from going in the hospital, meeting the kids, seeing their faces, giving 40 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour to where they don't have to think about being sick or the family, and just goofing around and singing and stuff. It really makes me so happy. And I love that it's artists doing it and taking their artistry to the hospitals.
I agree. It's such a great charity. I mean, literally, the coolest people I've ever met are volunteering at the Art of Elysium.
It's true. And I was, well before I was on a TV show, I was a volunteer. My husband used to go in with me.
We haven't even talked about your husband, who I'm a big fan of.
Oh,
big fan of. We
you
both.
a Dallas
I'm
fan?
a big Dallas fan. Big Dallas fan.
So you like the Dallas Cowboys show, his show?
Yes. I love that dude.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. 11 years?
Of Shameless, yes.
Tell me the best thing about being a series regular, and tell me I don't want to say the worst thing, because to me, I don't know if there would be worse to be a series regular. There'd be nothing bad about it, but there has to be a drawback somewhere, somehow. I know there's not. Tell me the best thing Worst thing, in a lack of better words.
Okay, the best thing about being a series regular is job security, obviously.
What is that like, having job security in this business?
Well, you know what? There's nothing like it. It's peace of mind.
Oh, I would love to have
It's
that
peace of mind. It really is.
Yeah, I bet.
It is. This was the first year, crazily enough, we didn't have 1 year in the 10 seasons that we didn't know we were coming back. Weren't on the fence, weren't waiting. There's nothing, that won't happen in a career again. You'll always be waiting. Is my show going to get picked up? Is it going to come back? Whatever. Once we were picked up and beloved by so many, and then once we hit Netflix, like there was we always knew we were going to come back until, the finals. I mean, it has to come to an end at some point. Also, because John took his time in making sure that we came back for casting, he did cast a group of people that are my family. So it's never really like going to work, because I'm working with my best friends and family, and for the little people, my kids who grew up on the show from 9 to 18, 20 to 20 now, they're like my children. So it's a family atmosphere, so there's no downside to going to work. Our hours are great because we're an ensemble, so we're not even shooting,
right.
including Bill Macy, so you can't beat that. I guess if you had to think of a downside, when you're on one show, you can't really do anything else. So you're playing that character. You try to find jobs in your hiatus that will challenge you and be different from what people know you as. But for the most part, you're tied to that show.
Right.
And so there's not a lot of cross-shooting happening. Sometimes there are exceptions that are made, but sometimes you really want to do another job too, just to see. And you can't do that because you're on a show. Right. But you're on a show.
Yeah.
That's why you can't do that.
Yeah.
So it's not really a downside.
Okay, I don't know if you remember this, but you and I actually worked together about 3 o'clock in the morning one night. We shot a scene on one of Jennifer Howe's movies.
Yes.
And we shot it up in Griffith Park, like at really late.
Yes.
Like I was an ambulance guy.
Yes. I don't even remember that was you, Clint. What is that?
Well, no, Leslie, my wife, reminded me last night. She goes, Clint, you do know you worked with her, right?
That's
I go,
crazy.
What?
Yes, we did Movie for the Art of Releasing. You don't remember me? That's
no,
so messed up.
No, you don't remember me.
That's so messed up.
Okay, all right. What's next for you? What do you want to do now in Hollywood? What's the thing?
This is so exciting because this is the first time that we talked about it. In 11 seasons that I didn't know what was next or what the next job was. So one of the things that being on this show has afforded me is to be able to receive material and to really figure out what that next step for me is. For me, I think I'm going to try a different genre. I want to be the lead.
I like it.
Because I think that it's time for that.
Right.
I think this is a great time for women. I think it's a great time for women of color. And I think it would be foolish of me if I didn't take advantage of those opportunities
yes.
that Shameless has really opened the doors for me to do. So those are the things I'm looking at. And most importantly for me, I want to work with good people.
See, that's the thing that's so exciting about you is that 11 years ago, you could start the day off like, man, what's going to happen today? But now you're going to start off with, look what I've done. You guys are going to be seriously, people are focusing on you now. Hey, how can we get her in our project?
Yeah.
That must be feeling fantastic. That must be an awesome feeling.
It is a feeling that I have wanted and still will long for in other, as we go to film and all those sorts of things. You can never get complacent.
No, I know.
You have to.
That's dangerous.
It's a very so you have to be very careful to stay hungry and humble at the same time.
Right.
And that's really what you have to remember. So I got this dream realized. I just did a critically acclaimed show for 11 seasons. What's my next challenge? I'm directing now. I made sure that I trained to be a director with John Wells, because why not learn from the great who's now giving me an opportunity to direct in the final season of Shameless. I'm going to be directing episode 8. So these opportunities, you have to capitalize on them for longevity, because it's not just about the now. And I think some young starlets will get caught up in the amount of money that they make or whatever the stardom is or whatever. But that leaves what's next. Constantly be thinking and maneuvering and shape-shifting yourself to figure out, how will I challenge myself creatively? How will I have longevity? And that's my mission.
Okay, you said something. You said vision board earlier.
Yes.
Do you still vision board?
I do still write down my vision board. I still meditate every morning at about 6:15 in the morning and see specifically where I want to be, whether that's a number on the call sheet, see my name on the call sheet, whether it's on movies, whatever it is. The thing about visioning is it cannot be empty. It must be very specific. You can't play with the universe of God, whatever you call it. You have to see colors. You have to see the place. You almost have to smell the smells of what it's like. I used to vision about going to travel all over the world. What does that look like? Who am I with? Am I with my husband? Am I taking my kids? Whatever those visions are, it's about being very specific in them. And then when you see them realize, it makes you chuckle to yourself and it fills you up because you're like, I saw that.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
I saw that.
That's awesome.
My dad will tell you this story to this day. To this day, my dad, the bishop in South Carolina, that yes, all my family supports and watch Shameless. It does not matter. My 91-year-old Christian grandmother loves Shameless.
Awesome.
Got off the phone with me the other day because she was like, I'm watching the finale. But I will tell you this. I used to pretend that I was walking in Somerville, South Carolina, in the restaurants, and I would do this. No, paparazzi. I just want to be with my family. Please, please, please. And they would just be so embarrassed, laughing at me. But I'd be like, no, please, just go. I can't. They'll tell me that story. So now when my dad walks around with me and we get to see fans in the airport or restaurants when I go back home, he's like, oh, brother, you guys don't even know. That's what I mean about visualization and being specific.
That's awesome. Okay, now let's get serious for 2 seconds.
Yes.
Tell me the worst time in Hollywood for you.
Probably the year where there's a big gap.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
There were times where I was told I was too dark-skinned. People didn't like my voice. They wanted somebody who was Halle Berry. There had been a lot of down times. My time before Shameless was not easy. It was a fight and it was a struggle to make sure that I kept myself that I kept bouncing back. It's a discipline. It's a perseverance that you have to have.
Okay.
And that's not easy.
No, it's not.
We can talk about it now because it's not there, but during that time, I call it like OEM moments, over the edge moments, dark clouds, just feeling that darkness, but not staying there and sitting there.
Okay, I got a few more questions and we're going to wrap it up.
Okay.
Best time in Hollywood. And please don't say right this second. Just think back like, man, that was a good time. When maybe it wasn't even the best time on your checkbook but what was the best time for you? If you need to say right now, you can.
No, I don't need to. I think the best time that I had to be the week of rehearsal that we did for the pilot of Shameless, because I was bonding with people that I had no idea were going to be my family for this long.
Yeah.
But it was so easy.
Yeah.
And I remember a specific moment where we were playing miniature golf because we were just supposed to be bonding for that week, because you don't usually get rehearsals when you're shooting a pilot. And
wait, hold on. What you just said, did y'all all go play putt-putt?
Yeah. And I remember standing there
so cool.
playing putt-putt with William H. Macy. And I said, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That probably was my best time.
Okay. See, that's what I like. I like little specific moments where you go, this is the coolest thing that's going on right now. Tell me, any acting advice that you've kept in your back pocket to get you through all the years?
My biggest advice for everybody is what I was saying earlier, is to stay hungry. Always wanting. Realizing that if the creator, the universe, God, whatever you call it, for me it's God, but for people it's different things. So whatever that is, if there is something that is really guttural and it's coming from a pure place, not for celebrity purposes or to be, just to be seen, but a passion that is really inside of you, know that it is not there not to be realized.
Right.
And when you realize that, when you're crying and you're upset and you're asking for answers and all of the things, and you will say, but this passion is still here. I still feel it. And you know that you got to keep walking, you got to keep walking, you got to keep walking, you got to keep pressing. So my advice is to always stay hungry and always, always, always be kind.
Amen to that. Amen to that. I never make this about me, but I just want to say this. I've been at this. I moved out here when I was 87. Been doing this for 33 years almost. And I still have that passion. That's the reason why I'm always like, what can I do? That's the reason why I want to create this, do this, because
Yeah.
I know I need to constantly be doing something.
That's right, creatively.
Because it's so easy to stay home and watch TV.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, it is.
It's so easy.
It's so easy.
Okay, Shanola, I think you just gave the perfect interview.
Oh, did I?
Yeah. So
Thank you.
congratulations
Thank
on
you.
that. Is
Thank
there
you.
anything else we
Portable
need to know
Clint.
about you before we close it down?
No. I mean, you got it all.
Well,
I mean, you really did your research.
Well, I care about the people who I interview. I literally
Thank you.
love every single person I interview. Okay, I got one last favor.
Yeah.
Will you go out there and tell everyone, not go out there, you look out there and tell everybody bye.
Bye, everybody. Thank you for watching Portable Clint.
Yay!